The world was sideways. Blood ran into my ear, warm, sticky. The car's windshield lay in glittered shards across my lap. "Her class starts in 6 minutes," my mother's voice cut through the ringing in my head. "She can crawl out," my father answered, like I was a piece of furniture blocking the door. Then Leela, my sister, in her fresh Lululemons, stepped over my legs. Careful not to snag the fabric, not a glance down, not a word. I think that was the exact second something inside me stopped breaking and started hardening. I used to believe family meant safety. When we were little, Leela would braid my hair before school. Mom would pack 2 identical lunches so we wouldn't fight. Dad took us both to the park after dinner. It's embarrassing now how easy I was to love back then, how much I believed in it. That crash wasn't an accident, not in the way they'd like it to be remembered. I was the passenger because Leela forgot her wallet and needed me to ride with her. The intersection we took, she knew the light timing, knew that truck would be cutting across. I'd call it coincidence if coincidence didn't feel so calculated. At first, I told myself I was being paranoid, but little cracks widened fast, like the day I overheard them, Mom, Dad, Leela, whispering in the kitchen. "She's too sensitive," Mom said. "Too expensive," Dad muttered. Leela laughed. Not for long. That laugh stuck in my skull like a splinter. The real confirmation came 3 weeks later. Hospital discharge papers left on the counter. I wasn't supposed to see them. In the notes, family declined extended recovery support. That wasn't neglect, that was a choice. They wanted me functional enough to disappear. I didn't yell, didn't beg, didn't even cry. I started planning. If they could step over me once, they could do it again, unless I made stepping over me dangerous. I began small, quiet, legal. I documented everything. Medical records, texts, voicemail clips where their voices dripped with irritation at my drama. I visited Aunt Claire, the one they hated. She taught me 2 things. 1, wills are public record. 2, influence is currency. Turns out my parents had a tidy inheritance coming from Grandpa's estate. Turns out, too, that Leela had been angling to be sole executor. And me? According to their version, I was too fragile to handle responsibility. Perfect. I could use fragile. I let them think they'd won, played quiet, distracted, grateful for their help. When the inheritance hearing was scheduled, I made sure they insisted I attend, if only to show the court she's fine. The morning of, I skipped my seizure medication, deliberately. Not dangerously, just enough to tilt the odds. Family court smells like paper and fear. I sat across from them, Mom with her tight smile, Dad with that arm-crossed authority, Leela scrolling her phone. The judge began, voices blurred, my chest tightened. I collapsed. Chairs scraped, papers scattered, someone shouted for help. Only this time, people ran toward me. Paramedics arrived. Standard protocol, they checked my vitals, my bag, my ID, and found my empty pill case. The lead medic looked at the judge. She's been without her prescription for days. That's life-threatening. The room shifted. The judge's gaze turned sharp. Who's responsible for her care? I didn't have to say a word. I just looked at my parents. Then at Leela. Everything unraveled faster than I expected. The court ordered an immediate investigation. Medical neglect, potential coercion, even financial exploitation. Aunt Claire stepped in as my advocate. She presented my documentation, the recordings, the discharge papers. Each piece slid across the judge's desk like a blade. Mom tried to cry. Dad tried to get angry. Leela tried to laugh it off. But watching their faces when the judge removed them from any control over the inheritance, that was my oxygen. The estate bypassed them completely. Funds were placed in a trust under my name, managed by a neutral party. Leela's position as executor? Gone. Their access to me, severely restricted pending investigation. When we left the courthouse, Leela finally looked at me. "You think you've won?" I smiled. "Not wide, just enough." "No, Leela. I've made sure you can't step over me ever again." She flinched. Small, but I saw it. It's been 3 months. They're still under review. I'm still fragile on paper, but stronger than I've ever been in reality. Some nights, I replay that moment in the courtroom, the silence after the judge's ruling, the way power shifted in the air, slow and irreversible. My parents taught me early, sharing is caring. I just made sure they shared the consequences.